Flight Boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of the Terry's Moon, Flight Boss, the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, I want to call this video, I want to call this the flight paradox. You know what I'm saying? You got all these, you know, Einstein and all these motherfuckers out here. You know what I'm saying? We are powerful just like these motherfuckers. But I want to call this the flight paradox right here. And this is why I call it the flight paradox. If you see the light, that means you're in the dark. Now, if you see the darkness, that means you're in the light. Build on that for a second. This is the flight paradox right here. If you see the light, that means you're in the dark. You're in darkness. But if you see the darkness, then whose perspective are you in if you see in darkness? You must be in the perspective of light, right? So if you see darkness, that means you're in the light. See what I'm saying? Now once you build on that, this kind of fucks everything up. This fucks everything up. This fucks up how you look at spirits. This fucks up how you look at light. You know? Now we're going to get a little deeper into this paradox. Now let's get into the perspective of, if you see the light, this means you're in the dark. Now if you see the light, now for an example, if you in a dark room, right, and you can't see, what happens? You turn the light on. If it's dark outside, what happens? You wait for the sun to come up. So you're already in the dark. So let's take this to the spirit realm. In the spirit realm, this is why the physical realm, everything is in reverse. The physical is the energy realm. The vibration is the soul realm. The frequency is the spirit realm. But let's break this down. See, now when you're talking about what you're actually doing, as if you see the light, that means you're already in the dark. So spiritually, you're in the dark and you're lost and you're trying to find things. So since you live in reverse, right, in this realm, the light is perceived as good, right? The light is perceived as good. Just think about that. The light is perceived as good. So light is always perceived as good. But in the spirit realm, light is blinding. It blinds your ability to see. Because in the spirit realm, you have to leave the physical realm. When you look at light and sight, that's seeing and receiving light, and your eyes reflecting and shit. But in the spirit realm, it's not that kind of party. So you have to look at things different. So if you're already in the dark, right, and you see something, whatever you're seeing blocks your sight. It blocks your sight because you're already seeing. Remind you, like I said, if you see something, same way, whatever you're looking at in the physical realm, right? Whatever you're seeing is just a bunch of molecules or something in front of you blocking you. Or blocking you from seeing what's ahead of it. You see what I'm saying? So this is how you correlate to all bodies being forms of light. And this is how you correlate to casting shadows and shit. It takes two forms of light or two forms of bodies, which a body is nothing but a more dense, formulated version of light. This is how you start to understand these things. You see what I'm saying? So with the flight paradox, if you see the light, you're already in the dark. So in the spirit realm, you're already seeing. So if you see something, that's another form blocking you from seeing ahead. So that's an obstacle. That's something that's trying to take shape and form and stop your path, stop your spiritual path. You see what I'm saying? It can play out in so many ways we can go when you understand, really understand this shit. We're all real star beings. But you see, in the spirit realm, if you see the light, you're already in the dark. So seeing the light means you need a crutch. You need direction. You need insight. You need vision. You need visualization. You need someone who's enlightened. And then when it plays out in the physical form, this is why you think in search for spiritual things that carry these attributes, This is why you cling on to these things and think it's good. This is why you say Jesus got the light. This is why when somebody expressing themselves, they say they got the light. Where you have to understand that when somebody say they're coming in Jesus' name, or they're coming in the, like everything was created with the word. So word, sound, light becomes physical. The Spirit did that. You see what I'm saying? Now, these forms of bodies, which is light, sound, or whatever like that, could become physical. So when somebody say, I come in the name, I come in the light, they're saying what they're saying is they're coming in the form of whoever their over God or oversoul is, because their oversoul don't have a shape or form to take. So it utilized them as a body, right? And the more that person can experience that, that person within themselves can do that within their inner world and create bodies that this spirit can take. And this person would end up having a child, birthing a child in this world that's inhabiting a spirit of a spirit that they constantly been channeling. You see what I'm saying? So we all working together, creating bodies. We all engineers. We all part of the Elohim. This is where the story of Elohim even came from. So, you know, if you see the light, this means you are already in the dark and you're blinded. You're getting blinded. So this is why you get a lot of them terms from religious people. They need to be born again. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't say it, fuck the physical form. They're already born here. They want to be spiritually born again. So this is their spirits teach them how to be spiritually born again. So they take them out of their own travel and let them be born and have a new spirit. Now they got whole new ideas and whole new thoughts and imaginations, and they create and manifest these things, these theologies out into the world that they don't control. They're truly part of another body. They're truly birthed in. A lot of religious people say they're birthed in Christ, or they're birthed in Jesus, or they're birthed in something. They're birthed in a body. So that spirit is birthed in a larger body that contraction lights off and things of that nature. Then when your spirits start to bounce off fucking frictions and things off there, create light sources and sounds and shit like that, then you keep coming back here in physical forms, inhabiting your family spirit. Y'all like a family lineage now. Y'all keep coming down here taking bodies. Y'all keep controlling shit up there. A lot of y'all part of the Galactic Federation of Light. But you know, this is when you are in the dark, if you see the light. So be careful when you're around people who talk about they seen the light. I even fell short to saying that a lot of times. I seen the light. What light did you see? Because that light is compacted with a bunch of information and frequency vibrations. And when you receive that light, it's going to shine on you and make you feel a certain presence. So there's a certain spirit taking control of that body of sound and light. And whatever that spirit is on is going to make you consciously aware of whatever you see when that light is emitted as reflections on your motherfucking light body. You see what I'm saying? It goes deep. Now, let's talk about, let's flip this. Now, if you see the darkness, this means you're in the light. So if you see the darkness, this means you're in the light. So this means you're already in the light. You're already in the light. You're already in the knowing. You're already consciously aware. You already realize. So all you see is the darkness. So guess what? Guess what? Guess what happens when someone who sees the light sees you? And you are the light. See, for someone to see the light, they're not in the light. They're in the dark. So guess what? When someone see the light, say you're the light and you see the darkness, right? This person see you. So you have the ability to take shape and form on whatever this person wants to see. This is where we start to get into spirits that like to take bodies and use them as advantages and things of that nature. But before we get into that, I just want to break this down real fast and correlate it, because this is highly correlated to the light beings and the dark beings. Light bodies and the dark bodies. They go in two different realms. See, a light body, a light person, a light worker, these motherfuckers like to take shape and form and play the characteristics of whatever that they're going to war for. So a lot of times these attributes are seen as positive in y'all realm of reality. So what blinds y'all is seen as positive, because everybody needs shape and form. So a religious person wouldn't even know how to live or exist in a world of chaos. Now the dark being, the dark worker, the dark lord, the dark kind, This person is a person who don't give a fuck about the realm of reality or the yang realm or what you're consciously aware of. So they don't care about physical shapes and forms. They don't care about being seen. They don't care about dress codes. They don't care about any of your illusions or your thoughts and your ideas or your religions or perceptions. These people are in the dark realm, and these people understand where these frequency vibrations are coming from before it gets into the light. So these people are already in the light. So what y'all think is darkness, that's really the light. And what y'all see as light, that's really the darkness that's blinding you. Gotta really think about this. So for the most part, the dark worker, right? This person they're already in the light. So they see the darkness. So when they come across a person that's in the dark, these are the people who see the light. So what kind of light it is, that's how the dark worker always know how to come. So dark workers always be perceived that sometimes they be perceived as evil. So when a person see that form, a person who is already in the dark and they seen the light, they will look at a dark person like, oh, this person is dark, because that person see all darkness. So when they explain the shit to you, they explain it a bunch. To you, it seems like it's dark shit. What's up, mommy? Oh, it's okay. To you, it'll seem like it's dark shit. But for the most part, to them, it's just that they're already in the light. They're already consciously aware of your religion, your perceptions, your ideas and shit, your concepts. And they choose to hide from that shit. They choose to not be blind by that shit. They rather use a fireplace to see what's going on in their house, other than the motherfucking fluorescent lights. You see what I'm saying? So the dark workers will be looked at as negative to a person who's seen the light, and a person who see the darkness will look at a person who's seen the light, that they looking at this person like you're just part of all the darkness, so you just weak. You see what I'm saying? The person in the dark will look at the light worker like, okay, you're weak. Now there's a gift and a curse to both of them. There's a gift and a curse to both of them within this paradox. Now, the gift with the person who see the light, so they're already in the dark, the gift with that is these people could come across very kind, or they could come across very negative. But they always gain structure in some way, shape, or form. So they will be looked at, or they will be perceived as being more stable, or being able to make more sense out of whatever they're doing. So even though what they're doing may be lost in the spirit realm, they're very much not lost in the physical realm. See what I'm saying? Now here's the gift and the curse to, if you a person who see the dark. This means you're already in the light. Now the curse is that you can't utilize, you don't give a fuck about a perception or being seen or utilizing certain things in order to gain certain things so you can have structure in your life. So a lot of times it'd be hard for these people to conform to any kind of situation to receive anything from the society, aka work a job to get money, aka they rather rely on their creativity, and if that don't work, they come up with a bunch of spiritual excuses and things of that nature of why they don't want to conform to anything that's in the light, aka what's illuminated, what you could be consciously aware of, what you are enlightened about. So you have to reformulate these things. Being enlightened doesn't necessarily mean good. Being consciously aware doesn't necessarily mean good. You could be too much consciously aware of some bullshit. So your third eye is realizing too many bullshits, too many illusions, too many lights, too many languages, too many laws, to the point that anytime it's too much light, you got to scrunch and close your eyes. Your eyes will tear up, and then boom, that's what's calcifying your third eye, your first eye. Being too consciously aware. Some shit you got to cut the fuck off and go completely dark side and back cave on them. So, you know, the gift, so that'd be the curse for the dark worker. You know what I'm saying? They don't conform to anything, and they may be perceived as negative for that same reason. But the positive, the gift that they get out of that is they know themselves. They're grand manifestors and creators. They understand the realm of reality before it become the light, before it become the body. They understand the realm without the body. They understand the spirit world without the body. So a lot of times the way they express themselves is like not giving a fuck about the body. They don't give a fuck if they live or die today or tomorrow. They don't care. because they already spiritually know where they're going. They know what vest, and they know what imagination of creation and what world that they're going in. So they're not attached to anything physical. So they don't have to get into any type of ideas or thought forms about forms of how we sustain ourselves. Because when we get into eating and things of that nature, everything eats. That's the way the world works. You can sit and cry about what you're eating all day, but you're getting ate by a higher being, and then that being is getting ate by a higher being. So whether you choose to think about it like that or not, you have to understand it is what it is. So you have to conform to what you relate to eating. But you should not tie this to any type of religious nature, or tie it to any kind of health course, or tie it to any type of higher morality or something outside of you. It's truly, the world revolves around you. You could be a person who's on a dirt diet. If that resonates with you, and that conceals your body and your soul and your heart, and this is how you conduct yourself and makes you feel good, then that's the world that you're going into. So the world that you create for yourself from this world, the vessel and the body that you're going to, is going to go into that realm of reality that it can sustain itself more on those things. Now when you start, this is where you start to have to understand and do everything in moderation. And don't go too far over in balance, because therefore too much of everything, too much of anything, you know the results of that. So it's about moderation and intent. What is your true intentions? And everything is about expansion and contraction. Remember that. Expansion, contraction. That's what everything is. Everything. Up that the fucking north, south, east, west, give and receive, positive and negative, male and female, all those came from the frequency vibration of expansion and contraction. And then they got their own little realm of realities of it. So they're not even filtered in the right way. For an example, expansion is negative, but it didn't got filtered, and y'all think it's positive in y'all filtering. So you think anytime you get more of something and gain something, you think that's positive. But really, in the spirit realm, that's negative. And then when you look at contraction, that's correlated to positive. But anytime you lose something, you feel bad about that. You lose family members, you lose friends, you lose possessions, you can't gain something. You look at that as very bad. It's attached to the emotions and the planets and them oversouls and them spirits. Y'all attached to them, and they motherfucker is confused and shit like that. This is why you have to look at everything as beings and bodies and things of that nature. But for the most part, in the true realm of reality, contraction is actually positive. But y'all look at all losses in all forms and shapes and things of that nature as negative. But that's truly positive in the spirit realm. Contraction is positive. But y'all look at that as negative and bad in y'all realm. So, you know, it goes deep. The spirit realm goes so deep. And the spirit realm is truly upside down from this realm. So when y'all think y'all going up in this realm, y'all actually going down in the spirit realm. So when y'all trying to take higher physical vessels and think y'all ascending and try to become a gas, and y'all trying to become these kind of planets and the physical gas and the physical shit like that, then all y'all doing is ascending in the physical realm but descending in the spirit realm. Tell me I'm motherfucking lying. You know what I'm saying? And when you understand how to utilize, don't attach no religion or anything, just utilize this physical realm for what it's for, and don't attach it to your spirit, then you ascend spiritually and you descend physically to the point that you become nothing. You may not even be that important to your family members or anything of that nature, but to the most part, you become nothing here, but you become the everything in the spirit realm. But see, you cannot do that by attaching your spirit to a bunch of these physical things. And how you do that is gaining emotions and feelings about things that's going on in the physical. You may be a person who care about nature. You may be a person who care about what you're eating. You may be a person who care about, you may be a person who indulge into Ramadan. You may be a person who like to correlate everything you do in the physical realm of reality to something that's dealing with your spirit and your soul. And the moment you don't know how to utilize these things as a body, as what it was created for, and the moment you start to attach it to your spirit and start to conflate it and start to make it as one, then that's truly being lost. That's truly your spirit being in hell. That's truly your spirit being lost in the light, in all forms of light. And in y'all light, y'all think light is correlated to fire. Fire can emit light, but light ain't got nothing to do with fire. See what I'm saying? Light is birthed from fire. There's a bunch of different things that's going on with beings within fire that when they come together and their offsprings is what create what you think is light. This is all shapes and forms and bodies, baby. You see what I'm saying? So you have to really understand that. And don't correlate the spirit with the physical. You know? I'm just here to help everybody. And when you do that, it's like that's really your spirit being lost in hell. Anytime you correlate your spirit with what's going on. For an example, say you a person who like to fuck a lot, right? Now, the moment you start attaching that to your spirit, like, man, I shouldn't be fucking a lot because I gotta do this, or I got you attaching the physical realm to your spirit. You could be a person who fuck a lot and just like to fuck a lot and don't have two fucks about it. And don't attach it to your spiritual realm. You could still be a spiritual guru and have like 6 wives. Now, for the most part, that's your spirit being free. So you are rising spiritually and not getting spiritually, not attaching your spirit to anything in the physical realm. The moment you start to think that whatever you're doing in the physical realm is helping you ascend in the spiritual realm and you really connect it, that's the moment your spirit is in hell. It's lost in a form of light. And it's burning up in that shit because of how you see light. So you could be doing something and feel, oh, I need to stop it, this, that, and that. You got the wrong concept. See, it's not about what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. You have the wrong concept. So your spirit will let you know what you should be into and what you shouldn't be into. So if you're a person who is into fucking a lot, it's not what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. So the moment you tie like I shouldn't be fucking a lot because I shouldn't be and letting other people tie that spirit to you, that's where you fuck up. It ain't what you're doing, it's how you doing it. Now, how you come to grips with your own spirit, because the world revolves around you. It's your responsibility. So how you rise and above and create imaginations of why you do this and why you don't do this and in that world that you manifest in order for you to get those urges to fuck a lot, then that's your path. But it's truly nobody else's right to say that you're going to hell or you don't have some form of morality because you fucking a lot. Because they truly don't know what your spirit in the spirit world is having to do. These are experiences that your spirit come here to experience. And within those experiences, with your shapeless, formless, odorless, non-flammable gas, your conscious, your spirit needs to elevate. So the better you know how to deal with that within yourself, that's your spiritual path. That's dark and unseen. Can't no motherfucking body in the light tell you that. Don't let nobody tell you that. Don't let nobody make your spirit feel like you lost or you don't know what you're doing to conform in some type of shape or light. Your spirit know what your spirit doing. Same way if you a person who like to drive fast, your spirit know what your spirit doing. Now your spirit, if you start experiencing accidents and shit like that, that's what your spirit needed to experience. But goddamn, if you already spiritually inclined, you already know when to drive fast and when not to drive fast. That's what you here to learn, your spirit. Fuck what's going on in the physical and what you attaching to that shit. Quit getting lost in the fucking physical. It's not one. We have to treat these worlds separate, because truly, when you leave this physical, if you keep attaching yourself to this physical and the way these lights look, you truly gonna keep coming back in these type of bodies. Your spirit, you're not becoming a spirit. You already a spirit. So when you die from this body, your spirit gonna fly off and go into another body. But if you ain't learning nothing, then if you only know about this kind of shit and you attach yourself to this kind of shit, then your spirit don't know what else other body to go into. But you know your spirit went into a lot of bodies. This is how you know you had a past, a previous life, your subconscious realm, your subconscious records. This is how you could be born in a family, and this is how you could be smarter than people that your friends and your family and your parents and things of that nature. This is why you're able to have the actual ability to see things differently. Because if you was truly just a becoming of what they created inside their body, then you truly should have 100% of their views based upon their DNA in you. So you shouldn't be able to see anything differently than the way they see things. But you are able to. That's because your spirit, your conscience is different from theirs. From a whole different place. Understand that. How can you look at it that like the same when it's showing you it's separate? It can use this as one. It's not as one. Your spirit is one thing, and it can use this one thing as a vessel. So it's 101. This is where the Fibonacci sequence and the numerology came from. 3 is not 3 as a number. It's just one of something, another one of something, and another one of something. Period. Understand that. This is how we understand how to separate worlds and how to understand how to bring everything together as one. But everything is truly offsprings and a mixture of two things coming together. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air.